Good day everyone, I'm Rosal Diamante. I'm the leader of our group. For our video, we will be discussing the results of our pre-test and post-test, as well as the interpretation of our data. So before we start, I'm going to introduce to you first my group members. For the uncontrolled group, we have me and
Angelo Santos, part of the uncontrolled group.
as for the uncontrolled group, we have
Cyrus B. Miguel, part of the controlled group.
And I am Marisa Torino, part of Control Group.
In our assessment test, we conducted multiple activities for our pre-test and our post-test. The activities are
3 minutes, step up, plank, push up, sit and reach.
So what is mobility training? Mobility training refers to a systematic approach to improving joint range of motion, flexibility, and movement quality through a variety of exercises and techniques. Unlike traditional stretching routines, which focuses mainly on elongating muscles, mobility training encompasses exercises that target joint health, stability, and neuromuscular control. The goal of mobility training is to enhance the body's ability to move freely and efficiently through its full range of motion, reducing the risk of injury and promoting better overall movement patterns.
For our cardiovascular endurance, we did the 3-minute step test. So we used the active pulse rate to gather our data.
starting on in the cardiovascular endurance, we will start on the uncontrolled group. For Rosal Diamante, his results on the pre-test are 102 and his fitness level scored around above average. After the training, his post-test scored around 115 and his fitness level scored below average, giving it on his remarks decreased.
Angelo Santos has no record for pre-test, but for post-test, he has 140 and for his fitness level, he is considered as poor. For remarks, he has no pre-test.
So the next is the controlled group. So we will begin with Cyrus B. Miguel. His pre-test result is 153 and his fitness level for the pre-test is poor. Next is the post-test result, which is 139 and his fitness level is poor. His remarks is maintained. As for why it is maintained, it is because he did not have enough training for his cardiovascular endurance. Next is Mary Sweet Torino. So her pre-test results is 130 and her fitness level is poor. And next is her post-test results, which is 140 and her fitness level is also poor. Her remarks is maintained. So the reason why it is maintained is also because she did not have enough training for her cardiovascular endurance.
In getting our data for muscular strength, we did the push-ups. We will first go to the uncontrolled group. Rosal Diamante, in his pre-test result, he has 23 repetitions of push-up and in his fitness level, it is poor. In his post-test, he scored 23 push-up and giving it the level of poor. In his remark, it is stated that his muscular strength has maintained. As per why his muscular strength maintained, it is because he has not been active in doing training for his varsity and his body is not conditioned.
Angelo Santos has no record for pre-test but he scored 40 for his post-test. His fitness level is poor and remarks is no pre-test.
Next is the controlled group. So we will begin with Cyrus Miguel. The results of his pre-test is 22 repetitions of push-up. His fitness level is poor. The next is his post-test. His post-test is 25 repetitions of push-up. His fitness level is still poor. So his remarks has increased. The reason why it has increased is due to his training in the gym.
So the next is Torino Merisweet. Her result in pre-test is 20 repetitions in push-up and her fitness level is poor. In her post-test result, she has 30 repetitions in push-up and her fitness level is average. So her remarks has increased. So the reason why her remark has increased is because of the training in gym, which mostly consists of resistance training.
So according to the research of Dorgo, King, and Candelaria, they conducted a study on the effectiveness of manual resistance training in the school-based physical education classes. So the study involved 222 adolescents who participated in regular PE classes. So they have an 18-week combined MRT and cardiovascular endurance training program which improved their muscular strength. So in our data, Rizal Diamante has the remarks of maintained. It is because he is part of the uncontrolled group, while Miguel and Torino has the remarks of increased because they are part of the controlled group which are doing resistance training in the gym.
What is resistance training? Resistance training, often referred to as strength training or weight training, is a form of exercise that involves working against an external force or resistance to build muscle strength, endurance, and size. This resistance can come from various sources such as free weights, like dumbbells or barbells, weight machines, resistance bands, or even body weight exercises. The primary goal of resistance training is to induce muscular adaptations by progressively overloading the muscles, leading to improvement in muscle mass, strength, power, and overall physical performance. It is a fundamental component of fitness program for individuals of all ages and fitness level, offering numerous health benefits beyond just building muscles, including improved bone density, metabolic health, and functional capacity.
For muscular endurance, we did the plank to gather our data.
For the uncontrolled group, firstly for Rizal Diamante, in his pre-test result, he scored about 1 minute and 11 seconds, giving it a fitness level of average. In his post-test result, he scored about 1 minute and 8 seconds, and his fitness level scored average. In his remark, he has scored a maintained level.
Now we go to Angelo Miguel Santos. For pre-test, he doesn't have any record for muscular endurance, but for post-test, he lasted for 1 minute and 3 seconds, which makes his fitness level average. His remarks are no pre-test.
The next is the controlled group. So we will begin with Cyrus Miguel. The results of his pre-test is 1 minute and 28 seconds, and his fitness level is below average. The next is his post-test, which results of 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and his fitness level is average. So his remarks has increased. The reason why it has increased, it is due to his frequent training which involves muscular endurance.
So next is Torino Meriswit. Her result in pre-test in muscular endurance has last 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and her fitness level is above average. In her post-test result, it has last 3 minutes and her fitness level is above average. Overall, her remark has maintained. The reason why her remark has maintained is because of the daily training of muscular endurance like planking and so on.
So according to the research of Dorgo, King, and Candelaria, they conducted a study on the effectiveness of manual resistance training in the school-based physical education classes. So the study involved 222 adolescents who participated in regular PE classes. So they have an 18-week combined MRT and cardiovascular endurance training program which improved their muscular strength. So in our data, Rizal Diamante has the remarks of maintained. It is because he is part of the uncontrolled group, while Miguel and Torino has the remarks of increased because they are part of the controlled group which are doing resistance training in the gym.
For us to gather the data for our flexibility test, we did a sit and reach.
We will be first discussing for the uncontrolled group. For Rizal Diamante, in his pre-test result, he has scored for about 19 inches in his sit and reach test, and his fitness level is above average. In his post-test result, he has scored for about 21 inches and his fitness level is good. For his remarks, it has increased. As per why his remark has increased, it is because he is doing stretches every day.
For Angelo Miguel Santos, for his pre-test, he has no record because of his absence. For post-test, he scored around 23 inches, which makes his fitness level above average for post-test. And for remarks, he has no pre-test.
So, the next is for the controlled group. First is Cyrus Miguel. His results in pre-test is 19 each, and his fitness level is above average. Next is his post-test, which is 19.5 inch, and his fitness level for the post-test is above average. His remarks is maintained. As for why it is maintained, it is because he did not have enough training for the flexibility. Next is Mary Sweet Torino. Torino's pre-test result is 23 inch and her fitness level is good. Then her post-test result is 22 inch and her fitness level is good. Her remarks is maintained. As for why it is maintained, it is also because she did not have enough training for her flexibility. So, according to the research of Morton and Whitehead, their study stated that full range resistance training improved flexibility and strength compared to static stretching in untrained adults. So, in our data, it was shown that Diamante has shown some improvement in his flexibility while Miguel and Torino has shown maintained, which is because of their lack of training for their flexibility.
Last but not the least, BMI. We will be first discussing the uncontrolled group. For Rosel C. Diamante, his pre-test is 18.9 and his fitness level is normal. His post-test is 21.1 and his fitness level for the post-test is normal. And he has a maintained remark. As per why he has a maintained remark, it is because he has been doing minimum training.
Move on to Angelo Miguel Santos. For his pre-test, he has no record for his BMI. But for post-test, he achieved a 17.1 post-test result, which makes his fitness level poor. As usual, his remarks is no pre-test.
Next is the controlled group. So we will begin with Cyrus B. Miguel. His pre-test results is 19.85 and his fitness level is normal. Next is his post-test, which is 20.2 and his fitness level is also normal. His remarks is maintained. As for why it is maintained, because he has been doing a regular exercises. Then next is Mary Sweet Torino. So her pre-test results is 18.09 and her fitness level is underweight. Next is her post-test results, which is 18.4 and her fitness level is underweight and her remarks is maintained. As for why it is still maintained, it is because she is not doing enough exercises. So in our pre-test, me and Torino, who belongs to the controlled group, have lower results compared to the uncontrolled members of our group. But in our post-test, it can be seen that there has been improvement compared to our pre-test results. So the reason for that is that we of the controlled groups are doing HIIT and mobility training, which improve our overall physical fitness level. So in our pre-test, me and Torino, who is part of the controlled group, have lower results compared to the uncontrolled members of our group. But in our post-test, it was shown that both of us have some improvement compared to the pre-results. So it is because me and Torino, is part of the controlled groups, have did an HIIT and mobility training since we are both of the controlled groups. So when we were doing the HIIT and mobility training, we both are having some difficulties because we are not used to that kind of activity. But as we continue in doing it, we are starting to get used to it, which as a result improve our cardiovascular endurance, our muscular strength, our muscular endurance, our flexibility, which improved our overall physical fitness level.
The results of the controlled group and uncontrolled group is that their overall health have been increased. And as per why the controlled group health has increased, it is because due to their training. And as per the uncontrolled group, it is because of their training on their sports such as volleyball, basketball, and many more. My negative experiences is enduring in pre-test. After pre-test, my body hurts because my body is not conditioned. But on the other side, on the positive experience, I knew what my body can do because of that.
For my positive experiences during the activity helped me realize which part of my body I need to train in order for me to execute the exercises better. While for negative experiences, after the activity, my body actually ached for a few minutes before I was able to walk again. It made my legs cramp.
So positive and negative experience. So the negative experience that I encountered during the pretest was that my body hurts a lot when doing that kind of activity because my body are not used to or accustomed in doing that kind of activity. While the positive experience was that I was able to know the limits or the capacity of what my body can do. Now for the post-test, the negative experience was that my body still hurts, but it is not as hurt as it was during the pretest. And the positive experience was that I was able to know that my body has improved overall.
My negative experience in doing HIIT mobility training in pretest and post-test is muscle soreness. After we did the activity, I feel pain in my body. And my negative experience in doing HIIT in pre and post-test is that I feel like I improved a little bit. I feel like I'm not getting tired easily anymore.